Zachary's phone rang somewhere under the stacks of paper he was sorting through. At first it startled him, but that wasn't why he dove so eagerly into the piles to find it and snatch it up. He was bored of paperwork. He knew it had to be done, and he was lucky to have his sister Heather acting as his executive assistant and helping him stay on top of everything, especially the accounting. But there was still paperwork he had to handle personally, and he'd had enough of it for the day. Hyperfocus was a blessing when he needed to dive deep into a case and unearth the details others had overlooked. When he was hyperfocused, it didn't matter that he had to plow through hundreds of lines of security logs looking for a pattern, or through dusty boxes of personal filing to find the one key piece of information that would help him solve the case. But ADHD brought with it the opposite of hyperfocus, the inability to focus on what was right in front of him. Hypervigilance sapped his attention, no matter how many times he told himself he and Kenzie were safe, and there was nothing to worry about. And the novelty-seeking part of his brain was looking for something, anything to do that was not paperwork. Zachary managed to hold it together for 45 minutes, using a chime that sounded on his phone every 5 minutes to bring him back from wherever his mind wandered to the job at hand. He'd fought himself every step of the way, and was not even halfway through the paper he'd hoped to process. The sound of the phone ringing, not the refocused chime, but an actual phone call, was a reprieve, releasing him from his self-imposed prison. He knocked over a couple of stacks of paper looking for it, and managed to swipe the screen and bring the phone up to his ear before the call went to voicemail. "Goldman Investigations," he greeted. Hopefully it was a good case, not a robocall or a spousal surveillance file, though. At this point, he would talk to anyone. "Is this Zachary Goldman?" an unfamiliar female voice inquired. Zachary took half a second to glance at the caller ID. It was a local Vermont number. Of course, it could still be routed through India or some other country, but the caller did not have an accent, so if it was someone trying to sell him a new phone plan or conducting a survey on the brands he usually bought, at least they were employing local Vermonters, and he could show them the courtesy of at least a few minutes of his time. "Yes, this is Zachary," he confirmed. "How can I help you?" "Your name was given to me by Dr. Williams." Zachary went through his mental contact list. He saw or had seen a lot of doctors in his life, but Dr. Williams did not spring immediately to memory. Maybe a doctor he'd seen on rotation in the psych ward? But if it were someone referring business to him, it wasn't likely to be someone who had seen him in the depths of a depressive cycle. "Yes," he encouraged, as if he knew who she was talking about. Hopefully the conversation would remind him who Dr. Williams was, if that was important. "Dr. Williams said you have some experience in dealing with kids who are selectively mute or non-speaking?" It came to Zachary in a flash. Not a therapist that he'd seen. One who was treating Reese Salter, a black teen that Zachary had met during a previous murder investigation and had kept in touch with ever since. Reese did not speak. A very occasional word or phrase here and there. Mostly he communicated by gestures and a messenger app on his phone. Not through conventional language, but mostly with pictures, memes, and short words and phrases. It was as though his brain wouldn't let him communicate normally. "Oh, Reese's doctor," he blurted. "Yes, I managed to communicate with Reese through other means." There were other kids he had dealt with at the Summit Learning Center as well, children with autism who had different levels of communication abilities, some of them facilitated with technology, and some of them requiring a lot of patience and close attention to body language for their reactions. "Okay," the caller let out a sigh. "Okay, maybe you can help me. I'm taking care of a 6-year-old boy, Leo, who's been through, well, a very traumatic situation. He isn't really mute, but he doesn't have much to say and just avoids it when I ask him anything. I was hoping you could help him." "I'm not a therapist." "No, Leo is seeing Dr. Williams, who thinks that in time he'll be able to help Leo. But, well, Leo's father was killed, and I don't think the police are getting anywhere in their investigation. I wanted you to look into it, to see if you could figure out what happened. I don't know if Leo knows anything about what happened. No one has been able to get anything useful from him." "His father was murdered?" "He was killed in a home invasion." "And Leo was a witness?" "No one knows for sure. We don't know how much he might have seen. He won't talk about it.